We're here at Outside the Book, and we're joined this time by Rick Robinson, a former legislative aide to Jim Bunning, a man who has experience in politics from the city council level to the highest levels of national government. He's an attorney in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, and in his spare time he does a little writing, and his books include the Maximum Contribution, Sniper Bid, and most recently Manifest Destiny, all of them winning pretty significant national awards. So Rick, thanks for being with us on Outside the Book.
Great to be here, Dean. I'm glad to be part of this.
What gets you started writing with all the other kinds of things that you could use your time to do? Why write?
Well, I got interested in writing 30 years ago when I met Jesse Stewart. And then when I was a kid, a teenager, I got to spend a day with Jesse Stewart. And I knew somewhere in the back of my head that I wanted to write something someday. I'm the classic guy of everybody has a book in them, and I spent 30 years writing the wrong book. I tried to write a coming-of-age novel similar to what Jesse Stewart had done, and realized I had never come of age. and then somebody said to me, well, why are you trying to do that? You have all these stories from being on the political trail for 30 years. Why don't you write a political thriller? And the light bulb went off in the head, and 30 days later I had 150 pages, and 30 days after that I had 3 publishers that wanted it, so it just kind of took off from there.
So you went from literally 0 to 60 in 2 months.
I went from 0 to
days.
60 in a very short amount of time, and it's been a fun ride. I thought this would be one of those bucket list items that when I wrote the first one that there would never be the second one, but the first one took off, the publisher wanted more, and now it's really become a second career.
Tell us about Congressman Richard Thompson.
Well, Congressman Richard Thompson is the main character in my books. I write all my books in a series, but I also write them as freestanding novels, so you can pick up any one of the novels and you don't feel lost. I give you the background and the story of all of them. But Richard Thompson is really an accumulation of all of the people that I've worked for over the years, all of the everybody from Jim Bunning and the senators, both Mr. and Mrs. Dole, and people down to city council races that I've worked on. So it's kind of an accumulation of all the personalities that I've known in politics over the years.
If we pick up one of your books and read through them, are we going to recognize some folks in there?
The names have been changed to protect the guilty. But it is funny. I do have people constantly coming up and asking me if a character is one person or another, and really they are just an accumulation of people that I've known. Now the one thing is there are characteristics of people that I've been able to work with and know over the years. The other character that's in the book that takes a prominent role in all the books is Michael Griffith, who is his campaign manager. And Michael Griffith has a lot of the characteristics, in particular, of Lee Atwater and Roger Ailes. Those are 2 people that I worked with on my very first campaign with Jim Bunning. We were able to put together Atwater and Ailes and as part of our team. And so there are actually a lot of characteristics of those 2 guys in the books.
You've run for Congress yourself. Does that experience get woven into these books at all?
Yeah, yes, it does. You know, that in 1998, the voters of the 4th District of Kentucky found out that I was a better writer than I was than a candidate.
They gave you a career boost.
And they gave me a career boost in the writing end. But there is a lot of the stories from the road that weave their way into the book. You know, the one thing that when I started reading political thrillers and taking a look at what was in my genre, was that I found that the political thrillers happened to take place in Washington. They weren't really about politics. So what I wanted to give the reader the feel of was, I wanted the reader to know what it was like to spend 5 days on a campaign bus tour, along with the thriller aspect, and to really get that idea of what it's like to be in the middle of a campaign.
Your books have been praised considerably for the authentic feel they have. They have a dimension that really takes you inside the political experience. What do you think gives you a special eye for that? There are a lot of folks who see that but can't necessarily translate that to the written word. What's the bridge there for you?
I think a lot of people who are get into the writing business are afraid to get onto the political side because they might turn on or off a reader because of a political view. I actually dive into those people. I want that person. I want that person to read. I tell people, I write political thrillers. If you love politics, you'll love my books. If you hate politics, I kill politicians. So I have something for everybody. But my book is really, the people that really get into reading my books it's been interesting that people that watch Chris Matthews' show like him just as much as people that watch Bill O'Reilly and Hannity. It's the left and the right because they do like that authentic feel of what it's like to be the new person on Capitol Hill or the person on the bus tour.
You said you wrote your first book in 30 days. Is that still your pace, or does it take you a little longer to do?
Well, no, it takes a little longer. What I've done and what has been helpful to me over the process of writing is that, again, I thought the first one was going to be a bucket list item, but then when the publisher said she wanted more, I actually did start down and learning a little bit about the craft of writing a thriller and taking a look at some of the people who are very, very good at it, guys like Harlan Coben, female writers like Lisa Scottoline, talking with them, talking about their craft and how they develop things. And that was really what came about in Manifest Destiny, was that, and why it's actually been named the Independent Book of the Year, was
absolutely.
that I actually started learning a little bit more about the craft. In fact, in writing that book took a much longer time to write because I got to a point in it and kind of scratched the head and go, I don't know how this book is going to end yet. And had to figure out how it was all going to come together.
Well, I hate to say it, but we have to end too. Rick Robinson, thank you for being with us on Outside the Book.
David,
Rick is the author of Manifest Destiny.